I've always been a big fan of the Bay Area thrash band Death Angel. Ever since I was in my teens, I've been listening to this band. And the one rumor that always circulated at that time, when there was no internet and very little information you could get about metal bands, was that this band was like in their early teens, and like their drummer was like 12 on their first demo, and the playing was pretty impressive and made us all feel like we needed to get back into the rehearsal room and practice a little bit more. So when I got the opportunity to interview them in Oakland for Metal Evolution, I finally got to ask them, how the hell did they get started so young?
All right, camera is beating.
Speed. Mark and Rob, Death Angel, January 14th. Where I'd like to start with you guys is just talking a bit about where you grew up and a little bit about what your childhood was like growing up in the Bay Area.
We started playing out, we started gigging when Andy was like 9 years old, and I was about probably 13. We started playing in clubs in San Francisco. And I wasn't even I was probably in 8th grade at that time, something like that, 7th, 8th grade, and we were playing. And so right from that point too, our entire, childhood and high school years were just completely different, because we spent all the weekends going to clubs already and just trying to sneak into shows and everything when people were not really going out to the city by themselves. We were like just getting out there, stealing our parents' cars, having older people drive our parents' cars when they're at work and go out to the city and hang out and stuff like that. And it was just it was a real exciting time, because we were just totally got into music at that age, and our whole lives were just revolving around the music scene and just discovering new bands, and it was just that kind of magical time, and we kind of grew up in that scene. In high school, when me and Mark were there, Death Angel played at our high school on lunch one time. Somehow they let this happen. Like, they knew that we had a band going, and at that, I think you were running for class president at the time, even perhaps something, which he ended up winning. Yeah. He was the senior class president while in Death Angel. But we played at lunch. We had it set up, and when lunchtime happened, we were out in the quad on the main outdoor amphitheater, and Death Angel played, and soon as we played, people knew that was gonna happen. People came from other schools, they invaded the high school. It just got completely out of control, and then people started pitting, and the staff freaked out. The principal ran into the pit to try to stop the thing, and he ended up getting knocked on his ass. Yeah. A girl got her arm broken while we were playing at school, during school, and needless to say, we were never allowed to play there ever again. Yeah. But that was one crazy day, man.
Yeah. It made the school paper.
Damn, we were huge.
Big news.
We were famous.
With the Kill As One demo, you guys started to make a mark, and obviously demo tapes were hugely important to the growth of thrash, and obviously tape trading was a big part of that. So, Mark, tell me about how, with the Kill As One demo, how things started to gain momentum.
With the Kill As One demo, I mean, I got to rewind a bit, because it was produced by Kirk Hammett, and we had talking about the Record Exchange earlier. When our first show we went to, that was the big pit show that we went to, that we were talking about, Metallica, Armored Saint. The next day, Metallica and Armored Saint did a in-store at the Record Exchange in Walnut Creek. And Rob took his parents' car without their knowledge, and we all piled in the little Toyota station wagon we called the White Fury. The White Fury, and we got in it and took it over to the Record Exchange, and we all met Metallica. But Death Angel had already been playing clubs. Bob Gamber, the owner of Record Exchange, already took a liking to Death Angel at the time, and took pictures of Death Angel and Metallica together. Fast forward years later, when we're all playing Ruthie's Inn, everyone went to Ruthie's Inn, from, if you were in a band, if you were in a punk, but everyone from Exodus, when Metallica wasn't in Europe, they were at Ruthie's Inn on nights, you know. And whenever we'd see Kirk, we used to do these like tapes. Our demos prior to that were literally us, you know, getting a boom box, pushing record and play at the same time, putting that in a cardboard box with a jacket over it in the middle of Andy's garage, and you know, playing these songs. And we'd always, when we'd run into Kirk, here's our new, you gotta hear our new song, you gotta hear our new song. But the ironic thing was he'd actually listen to it. You know, he'd come back the next time he saw us, hey, I really dug that song, you guys, you know, and whether he was choking our chain or something. But eventually, he really took a liking to us, and one day approached us and said, I'd like to record a demo for you guys. And this is, you know, right when Ride the Lightning just comes out, you know? So, yeah, okay. So we go up to this place in Glen Ellen, California, up in the wine country, called Jack London Studios, which is no longer there, but the building is. And recorded the Kill Is One demo. We kept going up on weekends, like we always did. And it was quite an experience, because we'd all spend the night in this little dark studio, and working with Kirk was great, you know.
And how did that demo, like, you got that demo out, and what happened? What happened?
We got that demo out. We came out with a promo package because we had a new manager who was actually telling us how to do things, and started sending it out. By this point, underground tape trading had gotten huge. I mean, we were already sending out live tapes of us that we had a P.O. box and people already knew how to get a hold of us. So we were sending out live tapes of our songs. But when we got this done with packaging and whatnot, and it did help. You know, we had a little name for ourselves, but it helped in a huge way that Kirk Hammett produced it.
Totally.
You know, in a huge way. And all of a sudden, all these fanzines were, you know, sent away for this, and everyone started wanting to get this demo. And if you had the original, that was great, because it actually had the, you know, the actual cover. I guess it wasn't cover art. It was just black with the Death Angel logo on it, but, you know, you actually had the cover. You know, of course, people start, you know, dubbing it and whatnot for their friends, but it went out like, there you go. It went out like wildfire, it did. And from that, we started getting, you know, labels started approaching us. We were getting a lot of press. We went out to New York for the first time. We played New York at the old Ritz. It was, first time we played out there was with Slayer and Overkill and Death Angel at the Ritz. And this is before we had an album out. We went out there on the Kill Is One demo, and we hit the stage, and people were, you know, yelling for Death Angel. They sang Kill Is One. They, you know, they knew thrashers. It was just, it's crazy. And this was all from underground tape trading, which made the scene. It was the, you know, it was the organic analog internet, you know, snail mail. And it was great because there was an innocence to it that was just amazing, you know, because you would send away for this demo tape and you'd wait and wait, you'd check your mail and damn, it's not here yet, you know, and eventually when you forgot about it, all of a sudden you'd open your mail one day and you know, I got it. And it would just be, that's what, you know, there was such an amazing innocence to the fans too. That's, to a certain degree, I miss that.